Hi guys, Blake here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. I've got my friend Kyle here with me today, and we're going to do the one cast for you. It is February the 14th of 2020, Valentine's Day. Today we've boated up here just to below Andy's house. I'm going to be throwing a double Scud rig. Got a 1/4 ounce drift weight on a Carolina style rig. I've got a big fuzzy size 12 gray Scud followed by a size 14 tan Scud. And Kyle is using a 639, about a 2 1/4 inch minnow swim jerk bait on the same style Carolina rig, except his has got an 1/8 ounce on it. It doesn't take quite as much weight to get the jerk bait down as it does the Scuds, which doesn't really make much sense to me, but that's just how it works. Okay, so we're dealing with usually this is the spot I like to come to get away from the wind, but today we cannot escape the wind. We came out and started fishing up at the cable, dragging those little jerk baits. And no matter where we've gone, we cannot escape the wind today. So we decided this was as good a spot as any. We did catch a few fish up near the cable. It's a little bit below the island up there. The wind's blowing upstream against the boat, so I'm kind of using the trolling motor right now to push us back down, keep the speed proper. Turn that camera. I haven't had a whole lot of fishing reports today. We got quite a few people coming into the resort to check in for the weekend, but not too many people started fishing today. They're still running the 5 floodgates at 1 foot apiece with 3 generators, equivalent to about 15,000 cubic feet per second. I know that those dragging the little flatfish and the little jerk baits have been working pretty well, along with the cerise San Juan worm. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's kind of like it's one of the bigger San Juan worms, and it's kind of a deep pink. I actually just lost one that I had a fish on when we were down below Fall Creek a second ago before we came up here to do the video. And yesterday when Phil and I went out, the tri-olive jig 1/8 ounce was working pretty well. There's a lot less wind yesterday though. I tried throwing the same jig for a little bit when we were drifting about this same area about 15 minutes ago, but the wind was blowing so strong I just couldn't get it to the bottom. So I decided to go with drifting. Pretty cold this morning. I think, oh, Dang it. I think it was 8 degrees is what my truck said on the way to work this morning. And it's gotten a little bit warmer today, but that wind is just really bone chilling. Well, I was really trying to milk this cast to see if I could get one on the one cast, but I think I gotta check that and make sure that wasn't moss I hit. Okay, no moss and no fish on the one cast. And get that back out there. I'll try to. Something I've noticed whenever they're running the floodgates is that this inside bend from Andy's down to the Narrows is usually holding fish, so I try to get my bait as close as I can over there to that edge. And it would seem that maybe the wind has died down momentarily. I think they're calling for a little bit warmer weather here soon. I heard something the next few days about the 50s, which would be beautiful. Ooh, that might have been a bite. Oh, did you get one, Kyle?
Yeah, I got me one.
Okay. Like I said, Kyle's dragging one of the 639 model little minnow jerk baits. Just about any. You gotta land him now. He's trying to swim away from you. You want me to net it for you, buddy? Got it? Whenever you pick him up, show him to the camera before you throw him back in the water. That little swim bait he's using there is, or I should say jerk bait he's using there, is the paint job is called the French Pearl, but it's basically just a white shad. So if you can find any little jerk baits that are minnow styled and look like a shad, that'd probably do the trick. And you don't have to use as much weight with those jerk baits. Did he bend your hook?
Just a little bit. I'll pick it up.
My scuds are failing me right now. However, whenever they turn the floodgates on, those scuds usually get uprooted, and you'll find a lot of the fish that you clean, their bellies will be packed full of scuds. I saw a few boats early this morning when I was on the dock that were out on the water and it couldn't have been more than 15 degrees outside at that point. So some dedicated fishermen were out early this morning, and I think I picked one up on a scud here. And he took the bigger one. He took the size 12 gray. That's a nice fish there. And he's just not done fighting yet. Oh, he came clean off of there. Nice, pretty female. Okay. I'm not sure how long this bottom scud had moss on it, but that might have been the reason they didn't bite the bottom one. You know, a lot of the fish are still in their spawning colors, and just like that fish that Phil caught the other day, that 25-inch fish or so, his fins were all beat up from spawning, and this area that we're going through right now is another spot where the fish spawn. That wind is really, really frigid. Kyle, go ahead and reel in your bait there. I'm going to take us over and we're going to fish that channel down around the front of Eagle Island. If I'm ever working this inside edge, this is about the point where I like to scoot the boat over to the other side. And that bottom scud has got moss all over it again. So now we are over here, just at the bottom side of the Narrows, going through the channel along Eagle Island. Okay. think I cast too far over there. I'm gonna catch a tree. Better try that again. I don't have any extra scuds rigged up here. It's a little bit faster over here, so I'm going to let out a little extra line. Try to find the bottom. There it is. Kyle, you got the bottom over there?
I should have it about.
And so it turns out we're moving fast enough that I really got to point the boat forward and slow us down pointing straight upstream. All right, Kyle, whenever we get past that tree stump right there, throw over here on this side of the boat on that flat. I've caught a few decent fish on jerkbaits right behind that stump. Don't throw too close to it though. There's a lot of those branches go out farther than they look.
Right over there?
You see that second one there and this one here?
Yeah.
Throw right in between the two once we go past them. Okay. So right now we're fishing the seam that comes off of that big stump on the side of Eagle Island. And it kind of leads into this long flat here that goes to the front of the island. I see a lot of sculpin fish and scuds, like the grass where you can pull up the roots and find scuds in them. There's a lot of that grass here, and I've seen a lot of sculpin fish here, so this is a good bait, good flat for different kinds of food sources. Oh, I had a miss. Did you have a bite?
Little bite.
Had one looking at it. Good sized fish just surfaced right over here in the eddy going up into the backside of Eagle Island. Which I would guess would probably have been another good spot to fish today with a lighter jig. You'd be out of the wind, and I'm sure with this fast water the fish are, I'm sure there's some fish up there. I think we'll fish for a couple minutes longer and then we're gonna call it a day. We're just now getting ready to go below Fall Creek. I gotta pull this in. I might have caught some moss back there in that flat. I almost bet I did. Oh my gosh. Well, it just goes to show you need to pull these up every 2 minutes or so. Check them for moss, because you're not gonna catch any fish like that. Those were just covered in moss. Give them the old Scud wash here. All right. One more cast. Oh, I found one. He is swimming right towards the boat. And he took the size 14 tan scud there. Nice little stalker. Well, I can't picture saying last cast and then catching a fish and then trying to do it again. So we wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.